Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I want to share something with you, and I want to make a point. So, do you mind if I share something about myself with you, just to prove a point? There was a time in my life when I thought I was one of the coolest guys on the face of the earth. Though I came out of the cotton fields, a mother that was a preteen or just a teen, to be raised by great grandparents and to come out blooming, it seems. It seems as though I had an arm of protection always around me. And everything I sought after, it seemed to be there. And all I had to do was to reach out and step out, and I could get it. But before I got too big, before I even moved in getting big range, I had an awakening. I had an experience of a couple of miracles in my life, and I couldn't really explain it to anybody that they could understand it, so it really didn't mean anything to anybody but myself. But in doing that, it brought me to a realization about some things that happened around me now that I've experienced some things that others know nothing about. And I began to understand, I'll seek to understand, why this happened to me. And I thought about it for a long time. I couldn't really come up with an answer. So I decided to look at it and see what the results of it was and what it meant to me. And it meant something fantastic to me. It meant that I was loved. It meant that somewhere, some power cared, some power was there, some power that I didn't even know anything about it. But it exposed, it revealed itself to me. So, knowing this, it made it seem as if what I had found out miraculously, and had never before, that perhaps this experience could lead me, and in the process tell you. But I must admit it was easier for me to tell you than for me to make those steps by choice. As I walked around thinking that I'm all of this, I dated some of the most gorgeous girls and ladies that you can ever imagine. And one day I even married one. Beautiful young lady. She and I were together, we were committed, had a child. And it was when we were together that this decision was made that was an expression of a person who had a changed mind. And this wife decided that it was the guy who had the other mind that she married. And that was the guy she was in love with. This new guy was a stranger, and she wanted no part of it, for which I hold no blame. One time I did, but now I've learned and I don't care about, because that's the way it is. But in my mind, to stand before a public and say under God that I would be with you and this and that for the rest of my life, it meant something to me. And so I was really hurt when this happened. And then I got a chance to reflect at the system in which I lived. And I see all of the stuff that's going around, all of this crazy stuff that's going on, and I saw it as being something that I don't want to have anything to do with. Many of you will look at me and try to judge me as you do others who got mansions and limousines and stuff. You really like it, but you talk against them, and me, I got nothing. You think you're going to praise me? No. My family tells me, and my sisters, at least they love me so much, they'll tell me, what have I got to show for this commitment that I have? I got to be on the wrong track. I'm trying to serve this power that I spoke of earlier, but I got to be on the wrong track. What I got to show for it? Well, the only thing I have to show for it is nothing. And I'm not ashamed that I got nothing. I'm ashamed that I live in a situation that says it's okay for me to have nothing, unless I play the game. Most of the people of the world don't know what's going on, and I only, by the grace of this power that I just mentioned to you about, can see this, and I will not play that game. I sit, and I want to tell you, it's like my new wife. We've been together for 30 some odd years. And for most of those years, I haven't brought a paycheck in. at all, haven't produced any money. And I've traveled across this country speaking the things that I'm speaking to you about. I've done everything I could to try to wake you up so you can live by the power in life. And most of you know that, especially you ladies, if you had a man who healthy, thought he was good looking, but at this time I had changed. I wasn't walking down that track. But had a man who wasn't bringing in a paycheck, you having kids, and you got to front all the bills, there's no way, perhaps, that you would stay with that guy. Unless there was a power or something that kept you there. You had a choice, sure, but you went with the choice of being there. I mean, you could, otherwise you wouldn't put up with that. But she did. She was committed to that as much as you think it was crazy, as I am, to that power that was miraculous in my life in trying to share the things that I share with you and get you to understand why I can't play the games that you're playing. You're playing a game of destruction. You're playing a game of destruction. You are caught up in so much evil that the system puts before you two individuals representing President of the United States, representing you. And each of you will come and admit that they're evil, but they're not as evil as the other. Each of them will say that they are evil, but they are not as evil as the other. And you, the people, are so out of it until you're sitting there choosing evil to represent you. And many of you call yourselves born again. Many of you call yourselves children of God in every type of denomination and persuasion, saying that God is sitting there in you voting for evil. No, I can't see that. I can't see that. That's why when I go to the polls, starting with Bill Clinton all the way up to the current, every time I write in for president, I write in my name. Because I see the way to the peace and prosperity and joy of this life and of the life that has been provided for us. I see it. I see that there is a power that created this ball, this earth, this thing we call our home. And its ability to do all of the things that it has done for us in humankind's lifetime. And the people brought here by that same power. They didn't bring themselves, and they can't keep themselves here forever. But they come here with the ability to do what they have done, to extract from the resources above the earth, on the earth, in the earth, seen and unseen, and done miraculous things. And this is designed because there are some things that's coming amongst the people, every last one of them, so they will know that none is more important, and everyone is just as important as the other. Because for survival, everybody needs air, oxygen, everybody needs water, everybody needs food, clothing, shelter, education to be better, health care to stay around when they get a little sick. Everybody needs that. That's common amongst everybody. And you would think that people all over the world would make sure that this system, any system on the face of the earth, would guarantee this to each and every last one of them. But they don't do that. They let people come around and say, this is what I'll do for you, and as soon as they get the power that you've given them, they turn their backs and walk away on you. And you start fussing and complaining and waiting for the next time to turn around and do the same thing again. I can't do that. But I want you to know that this is a power that's usurping you. You work hard every day trying to pay those bills, working overtime when you don't want to. You can't spend time with your children. You're just trying to make it, struggling, trying to make it. Can't get a chance to enjoy life, but every now and then you get a few days off. You know the changes that you go through, and yet you accept that. Playing that game, so you can get what they have conditioned you to believe is necessary. $1. But in the one I was just telling you about, there was one thing I didn't mention. You have gifts. And each of you have a special gift. And to exercise that gift in the area of a career is the greatest joy you could ever have. And in exercising that gift, my friends, you are playing a role in the process of creating all of the goods and services that the human race needs to survive. And all of that extra stuff that's cream on the top that you geniuses come up with that God has blessed you with. And the only thing it costs you is to respect the fact that you own nothing. Everything belongs to somebody else. And you better get the best that you can out of it. And the best way to do that without war and crime and violence and stealing is to treat people like you want to be treated. That's the thing that I come to tell you. And you choose evil. And some of you saying she's going to start a war. Some of you think he's crazy. Can't you see that's a game being played on you to keep you crazy too? I can't do that. Just can't do it. But I just wanted to share with you some experiences of my own and a message that has been given to me to give to you. Standing in the streets talking about this particular issue and this particular issue and this particular issue, you're wearing yourselves out. They've been doing it ever since mankind has been on this earth. Standing up for this, standing up for that, arguing for this dollar, arguing for this dollar. When all you got to do is change. And do it the right way. You have to do any of that. You have to give them release from all that pressure. And live the abundant life. That must be someone telling me I said enough. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.